The abandoned factory was silent except for the distant drip of water and Emeka's ragged breathing. His cousin Tunde stood before him, gun still smoking from the shot that had killed Amina. Emeka, voice shaking. Tunde, what the hell are you doing? Tunde's grip on the gun tightened, but his eyes betrayed conflict. Tunde, you shouldn't have come here, Emeka. You're digging up graves that should stay buried. Emeka. She had proof. Proof that your father framed mine. Tunde let out a bitter laugh. You still don't get it, do you? You think this is just about money? About business? He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a venomous whisper. This is about blood. And you. You're the biggest lie of all. Before Emeka could respond, Tunde tossed a yellowed envelope at his feet. Open it! With trembling hands, Emeka did. Inside was a birth certificate. His birth certificate. The gun trembled in Tunde's hand as Emeka stared at the birth certificate, the letters blurring before his eyes. Father's name, Dapo Adesina. A cold sweat broke across Emeka's forehead. The factory walls seemed to close in around him. This is a lie, Emeka whispered hoarsely. Some sick trick. Tunde's bitter laugh cut through the damp air. 30 years. 30 years I've watched him treat you like gold while I fought for scraps. He stepped closer, the gun now hanging limply at his side. All because you're his first son. His real son. Emeka's knees threatened to buckle. Fragmented memories flashed Dapo taking him to his first day at university while Tunde was left behind. Dapo whispering, "You're special," after too many glasses of whiskey. The USB drive Amina had given him burned in his pocket. Emeka. The voice came from behind them. Chief Dapo Adesina stood framed in the broken factory doorway, his blue kaftan untouched by the grime around them. 2 armed men flanked him. Tunde, Dapo said calmly. Lower your weapon. Tunde's jaw clenched, but he obeyed. Dapo's eyes locked onto Emeka's. We need to talk! All of us. The Adesina family compound had never felt more like a gilded prison. Emeka sat across from Dapo in the lavish study where he'd once been praised for his academic achievements. The same leather-bound books lined the shelves. The same portrait of a younger Dapo smiled down from above the fireplace. Your mother was mine first, Dapo said, swirling amber liquid in his glass. Ade knew that. He took her anyway. Emeka's hands fisted against his thighs. So you framed him. Let him die in prison. I gave you everything. Dapo's fist slammed onto the desk. Education. Connections. A name that means something. The door creaked open. Ireti Adesina stood silhouetted in the doorway, her face streaked with tears. Mama? Emeka's voice broke. Did you know? Her silence was answer enough. She found out when you were 6, Dapo said. The night she tried to leave me. A new horror dawned on Emeka. That's when father was arrested. Dapo took a long drink. Coincidence. Tunde, leaning against the bookshelves, let out a strangled laugh. And the witness who died last week, the accountant you had me silence yesterday? More coincidences? The air thickened with unspoken threats. Later that night, Emeka waited until the house was silent. Moonlight filtered through the curtains as he crept into Dapo's private home office. The safe behind the painting, the one he'd seen his uncle open when he was 12, yielded to his trembling fingers. Inside lay a leather-bound ledger. Page after page of dates. Payments. Names of politicians, judges, even police commissioners. And on the last page, a single entry. Payment to Warden Ease. Ensure Ade Adesina does not survive the night. Emeka's stomach heaved. A floorboard creaked behind him. I wondered when you'd find that. Dapo stood in the doorway, a revolver glinting in his hand. You were always too clever. Dapo sighed, motioning Emeka toward the balcony overlooking the Lagos skyline. Like me. The ledger weighed heavily in Emeka's hands. You had him killed, Emeka whispered. After everything you murdered your own brother. Dapo's smile didn't reach his eyes. Blood means nothing next to power. You'll understand that soon. He gestured with the gun. Now, the ledger. Emeka stepped closer to the balcony edge. Emeka! You're right, Emeka said quietly. I am like you. And let the ledger slip from his fingers, pages fluttering down 20 stories into the night. Dapo's roar of fury was cut short by the sound of sirens. Red and blue lights flooded the compound. Tunde stood in the doorway, phone in hand. I called them, he said simply. Turns out I'm tired of being second best. Dapo's face twisted in rage. He swung the gun toward Tunde. Bang! A single shot rang out. The gunshot still echoed in Emeka's ears as he saw Dapo collapse onto the marble balcony, his white linen shirt blooming crimson. Time seemed to freeze. Tunde stood paralyzed, the smoking pistol dangling from his fingers. The ledger's pages fluttered like wounded birds over the Lagos skyline. Emeka, staggering forward. Tunde, what have you done? He was shocked, thought that Dapo had shot Tunde. Tunde's eyes were wide with shock. I didn't! A groan from the ground cut him off. Dapo clutched his shoulder, his face twisted in pain but very much alive. Dapo gritted teeth. You, stupid boy! The wail of approaching sirens snapped them all into action. Emeka lunged for the scattered pages, but a strong wind carried most over the balcony's edge. He managed to grab only 3 sheets before Dapo's bodyguard yanked him back. Bodyguard, Chief, we need to go now. Dapo struggled to his feet, his face pale with pain and fury. His gaze locked onto Emeka. Dapo, this isn't over. As the bodyguard half-carried Dapo toward the emergency exit, Tunde suddenly blocked their path. Tunde! No, you don't get to run this time. A silent standoff. Then, Dapo. Soft. Dangerous. Move aside, son. The word son hung between them like a grenade with its pin pulled. Tunde hesitated just long enough for Dapo to shove past him. Emeka made to follow. But Tunde grabbed his arm. Tunde, let him go. We have more important problems. He held up his phone news alert, showed police raiding Adesina Group headquarters. They're coming for all of us. The safe house where they were hiding stank of mildew and regret. Ireti Adesina sat hunched over a rickety table, her once elegant hands now clutching a chipped teacup. Emeka, how long have you known the truth? About Dapo? About me? Ireti didn't meet his eyes. The night before Ade was arrested, Dapo came to me. He said if I didn't accept his protection, he'd destroy Ade. A tear splashed into her tea. I thought he meant financially. Tunde, leaning against the wall. And after? When Ade was in prison? Ireti, whispering. I tried to get him out. I went to the warden. Her voice broke. He showed me the order, signed by Dapo. Emeka felt sick. And you still let him raise me? Ireti finally looked up, her eyes decades older than they'd been that morning. I thought I was protecting you. The truth would have gotten us all killed. A heavy silence fell. Then, Tunde's phone buzzed. He read the message, face going pale. We need to move. Now. The abandoned church smelled of incense and decay. The figure kneeling at the altar stood slowly as they entered. Emeka, shocked. Mr. Balogun? The old accountant turned, revealing the bandages beneath his shirt. Not dead, though your uncle certainly tried. Tunde, you were working with Amina. Balogun nodded. We found something else. Something Ade hid before he died. He pulled a small tape recorder from his pocket. Your father's insurance policy. The raspy voice that filled the church made Ireti gasp. Ade's voice on tape. If you're hearing this, Dapo has finally killed me. But I want my son to know. A crash at the back of the church cut off the recording. Dapo's voice. Touching reunion. They turned to see Dapo flanked by 6 armed men, his wounded shoulder crudely bandaged, his eyes burned with manic intensity. Dapo said, "Give me the tape, Balogun." Stepping forward. "It's over, Dapo. The police have copies. The media too." Dapo actually laughed. "You think I care about that now?" He raised his good arm, revealing a detonator. "This church has enough explosives to erase every last one of you.